What is up, survivors? We are back with another mod review. For today's mod review, we're going over the Viking Wardrobe mod. This is a pretty simple one. Adds a lot of cosmetics, a lot of skins, and a couple of buildings, structure pieces. Let's get right into it. All right, so for starters, you're going to need to be able to craft the crafting station that all this stuff is going to come from. This is the Viking Forge. Auto unlocked at level 1. 20 hide, 50 metal, 50 stone, 75 wood. Make it on your Persian, slap it down, and it's going to look just like this, which I always like to see these very original crafting stations. I don't know why. It's like a thing for me. I like seeing all these. Anyway, everything that you need to craft in this mod is in this bench. Now there's a companion. We'll talk about how that works as well. This is kind of like the Helena skin that would talk to you, not like the actual like robot you would get from like Gen 1 or 2. Going through into the Dwarven section, there's different Dwarven pieces in here. Skins, armor skins, weapons, we'll get into all that, but it's separated between Dwarven and Vikings. So we'll kind of go over everything, but everything that we're gonna talk about is crafted here in this crafting station. Pretty straightforward. So what we do have is a lot of like in-home decor, which is a lot of the stuff that we have mounted on the wall. So this middle section is what's Dwarven actually. So you can clearly see that there's a different style, right? So we have different Viking shields that we can put down. You have Vanaheim, Asgard, Jotunheim. So this is really meant for obviously the Fjord map, and I think it looks great. The different Dwarven shields and all that good stuff. And then we actually have some of the regular weaponry here as well. So pretty straightforward. You can you just place them on wall pieces. They work pretty well, and it's excellent for decorating whatever you're doing. Looks pretty darn good. Going over here, I just put out a bunch of these dummies because I just figured it'd be easier. Plus, I don't know, I feel like I fit into this group quite oftentimes. Anyway, you can make a lot of different types of armor skins. Now these armor, they're just skins. They don't really change how the armor works. You just put it over its normal armor, and that's how, and then that's pretty much it. This purely cosmetic, right? It's just going to change the appearance. Now it seems like there are plenty of different kinds of chest options. Like we have this fur chest piece here. We have sort of almost like a medium grade with like more of a heavier armor here. A lighter fur option, a chainmail option, and then like kind of a shirt option, right? And again, these are just skins that go over your chest piece. But it only looks like there's a few of everything else. For instance, the helmet here is that horned helmet, and then the helmet I have on is this one. These are the only two helmet options that I've seen on here. Also, with the boots, it looks like there's only two options. You have like a let me get rid of my HUD so we can see. You have like a fur boot option, and then we have like a regular boot option. Seems to be the only two. Gloves, only one glove option, but this is the glove option. I don't mind it because honestly, it all fits pretty well. Like the fur boots fit with everything. Even the regular boots fit with everything. The gloves are pretty universal. Like all those pieces pretty much work. So can't really complain about it. And it does fit into the Viking thing really well. I'm actually a fan of most of these. I think these look great. I like the option to be able to change them up too, depending on where you're built or what what your tribe's doing or whatever. It's pretty cool. Dig it. I also like the little the necklace add-on as well. I think it's actually added on to some of the other ones too, but you can't actually see. Ah, yeah. So like this one. So that's one of the differences between. I was trying to figure out one of the differences between this chest piece and this one. And this one has a higher collar, while this one is a little bit looser and still has that chain coming down. Pretty gnarly. Anyway, shield options, same deal. They will go over any shield skin, just like these guys. The armor pieces will go over any armor skin, right? So we have basically the shields that we saw all on the wall. You have all of those options here, and these are like that Dwarven shield, and that's even like a big Dwarven shield. So pretty straightforward. That's all the shield options there are there. Now, that's just your armor cosmetic stuff and the buildable stuff. It's quite a lot more going on. So my inventory is a little bit of a mess, but we'll kind of go through it all. Now, weapons are a different concern, right? So sometimes these weapon skins will go over what they think you would go over, and sometimes it doesn't. So it's very, very important to pay attention to what you're putting them on. For instance, this hammer skin, you would think maybe might go over a club or something like that, but it doesn't. And it'll tell you it goes over a sword. So you have to make sure that you have a sword for that to work on. Sometimes they go over picks, sometimes they go over hatchets, sometimes it's crossbows, regular bows, swords. That's pretty much it, I think, for the most part. But honestly, these look great. So this is like a couple of the bows that we have, like a long bow. We have a regular sword here. You got a hatchet. You got a spear that goes through a pike. Oh wow, that's sharp. We have, this is one of the Dwarven swords. As you can see, if it looks a little bit more ornate, it's definitely a Dwarven section. I have an axe. I think there's 2 different axes I got here. Yep. We got like a warhammer pick sort of thing. And we have a regular sword. Got all sorts of good stuff in here. Definitely pretty cool. So that's not even all of them. There's hammer options in here. There's plenty of different types of skins to put all over your weapons. Basically, there's a skin for just about every tool and weapon you could possibly use, so you can change all these up and make them look cool however you want. The other thing that I really liked, let's talk about that little companion, right? So a lot of these are equippable, and what they do is put whatever this item is on your back, and it's just for cosmetic, right? So let's say I grab the quiver, drag it over here, put it in my offhand, come back out, I have a quiver on my back. So you could pick which things kind of go on here. And then really, again, this is just aesthetics, but I think it does look pretty cool when you're running around with a bow and arrow, actually having a quiver on. Kind of a neat idea. We have like the double axes. The double axes look pretty gnarly. That looks cool, especially if you're running around with an axe or something like that. It's interesting. It does look like, because it takes a shield option though, if you notice that, right? So if I swap to the pike, which is a 2-handed weapon, it takes it away. So that is something to pay attention to if you're using 2-handed weapons. But I mean, honestly, there's not too many of those. But yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. The bow, obviously, as well, will kill it out too. So definitely pay attention to that. It works. The display works as a shield. So if you pull out a bow, it's not going to work. Let's go ahead and throw this guy on here. So as you can see, it like I said, this will act like the Helena skin. So like when you find some of the as expansions came out in Ark, and we found some of the little platforms at the added Explorer nodes, and you walked by them and the little Helena skin would talk to it before Genesis released, it very much acts like that. So that's what you should be prepared for. But other than that, it just kind of chills, follows you around. It kind of looks like the Viking obelisk. It's out here on Fjordur as well. Man, I dig this. I think it's just really fun. The idea, I mean, it's kind of a bummer. One of our community members pointed out really early on the Fjordur server that they've removed all the skins out of there, which I thought was kind of odd. Kind of figured that would have been something they would have kept along. For whatever reason, they didn't. Something like this definitely fixes a lot of that, though, and you still have all the customization, and it's not a very big mod either, right? It doesn't take up a lot of space. We're just basically making skins out of this. There is one other thing to check on, and let's go do that. In the meantime, though, what all these other mods don't have is a giant chili pepper. If you need it, it's right here. It's got all sorts of good stuff in here. It's got a straw man costume. It's got canvases. It's got a chibi. It's got consumables in here that do all sorts of cool stuff. Different skins for your helmet. You want to make a mini forge or a mini tech replicator? This is how you do it. And also a really awesome spyglass mod. Let's check it out. Link is in the description. Last but not least, we have a skin for the canoe. So this is the Viking boat skin for the canoe. It's a standard canoe. You just throw this guy in here, and that's pretty much how this works. I love this. The canoe was such a subtle addition to Ark, but man, do I really love it. And having that little skin to kind of park by maybe your like riverside or beachside kind of town or whatever just makes it look super cool. At any rate, that's pretty much what we're looking at. Armor skins, weapon skins, equippable skins that pretty much take the slot of your shield to change how you look as well. Then we have all the different shields and storage options or weapon options that go on the walls, and then this awesome crafting station as well. That is what we have seen so far. I don't know if we're going to go any further with this. I mean, maybe I'd like to kind of see a little bit more maybe bootleg glove options, really, but honestly that's pretty much it. Would have been interesting to see maybe different stats instead of different weapon skins, maybe actually different weapons, and try to change the stats up a little bit. I'm not entirely certain there. Don't know how much work that would be, honestly. I think there's a few of those kind of floating around already anyway, so maybe it might not be worth the time. But anyway, I think it looks good. I think all the armor looks great, and like I said, this small mod, obviously with Fjordur out now, this is one of those perfect little ones for it. Would highly suggest you check it out. But that's it. That's the Viking Wardrobe mod. So I'm going to leave a link in the description to the Steam Workshop page, so you guys can check that out whenever you want to. And as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. I'm going to go do some Viking stuff.